Good morning, my fellow buckskinners. My name is Michael. Some know me as Grizz Skinner, Le Flyer du Faucon, which is brother of the hawk, but most people address me by my business name, which is Lane Beaver Trading Company. I've been doing these historical reenactments and or going to these events as a trader for over 26 years. And some things that we've all observed from time to time is that some buckskinners will make a very common mistake when it comes to using candles, candle lanterns, and candle holders. I will readily agree with everybody that there's a certain ambiance about lighting a candle in your lodge and walking away and going to sit by a fire, jack-jawing, passing a bottle with your best buddies at a rendezvous. The common mistake is sometimes we fail to remember that a beeswax candle will soften and lean over due to not only the heat that's generated inside the candle holder, but also the ambient temperature outside. And it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that when your beeswax candle falls over, if you have a wooden candle holder, candle lantern, you actually put a match to a pile of kindling. And of course from there, your lodge catches on fire and that's nothing but a giant wick. Having put some thought into all of this, I actually came up with what I call the everlasting copper candle. Now I started making and selling these about 10 years ago at rendezvous and national events, and they became quite popular. But because of the cost of copper going up with that new dam being built in China, I kind of quit doing it because it just wasn't cost effective any longer. But now that copper's come down and other things are in play, it's now cost effective to do this. For those that have not seen this particular candle, obviously it's an oil-based candle. You have a reservoir that holds the oil. This particular copper candle is 3/8 diameter copper with a sweat-fitted bottom and a plug that I've reworked the top of this so that it is a pressure fit. And while I have this apart, you can see that there's plenty of wick available. I do twist these wicks myself. And as you can see, they are pressure fit. And even if you inadvertently knock one over, the top's not going to come flying off. When you go to initially fill these, what I recommend you do is to pour your torch oil. I like using tiki torch oil or citronella oil. It's a light oil. What I have discovered using heavier weight oils, like perhaps a cooking oil, is that yes, it will soak up the wick, but the flame burns it off quicker than it can actually draw oil up the wick. So that's why tiki torch oil, probably a paraffin oil, would also work very well. But what you'll want to do is you'll want to fill up the container to about right there with the wick inside the tube. If you fill it up with the wick outside, when you put the wick in, it will displace the oil and you'll have a mess. So there again, I usually fill mine up to about right there and then place the cap and light it off. I will demonstrate that right now with this smaller version. And there again, I only use the tiki torch oil, citronella oil. I actually burn this in my lodge at night with the citronella oil that has the mosquito repellent built into it. A lantern, a candle this small will last about 2.5 to 3 hours. These larger ones, what I have been able to ascertain over the time period that I've been making these, they'll last anywhere from 5.5 to 6 hours. A lot of it again would depend on how high you have the wick as to how bigger the flame's going to be, taller. If you do need to adjust the flame, I just take for you buckskinners, you probably have got a vent pick. That works very well, or just a really good, strong, solid needle. And you can just lift that wick up a little bit higher. And it is probably better to try to lift the wick with the candle outside your holder. That way you can kind of control the situation a little bit better. For in-home use, I also make a really nice base, either out of walnut or maple or whatever I just so happen to have in my shop at the time. I drill them so that they do fit very snugly, so that you'd have to really work to knock it over. But there again, if you do knock it over, the cap would stay right there. So it does make it really safe for indoor burning. So there again, it does solve a problem, because in the evening you have a lantern holder, candle holder, that really looks like there's a true candle burning inside, but you don't have the danger of the wax candle going soft, falling over and lighting your lodge on fire. There have been some in the past that have tried to copy what I've done here. Crazy Crow used to sell them. I've noticed as of late they don't sell them any longer. I myself looked at that design and saw the inherent problem with it. Whoever was trying to copy it actually used a piece of cork as the stopper on top. Well, as all of us buckskinner knows, you soak cork in oil, the cork's going to dry out eventually, and then you've got another whole set of issues to deal with there. So thank you for watching. You can find these on our Etsy account if you type in Lane Beaver Trading Company, and we're also going to put the link to our Etsy store down below in the description. You can find them there, and I'd very much appreciate it if you would try one of these out and recommend it to your other buckskinning friends. Thanks for watching.